Talk about the champs. The Seahawks will open their season on the 11th. We know that some of their home opponents are already slated for Week 1. So the champs are facing either the Cardinals, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Bears,
or the Chiefs.
And
the reason we know that is Week 1, Cowboys and Giants are playing each other, and in the division, the Niners and the Rams are playing each other, so we can take them off the list.
Who do you want to see the Seahawks open up against? Cardinals, Chargers, Patriots, Bears, Chiefs. You want me to answer, or do you think the Patriots? Unfortunately, this is bad for me. It's a good trick by you.
It is totally
that was an excellent job by you. I just realized it. I just stepped in. It's like the bear thing is about to clamp my ankle, and I'm right here. I'm like, oh, that's a great trick. Here's the truth. Gosh darn it. The Cardinals are an obvious no.
Right.
No one wants to see the Cardinals. The next team you can probably cross off because it was so uncompetitive and because I think it would be hard to run a promo for the beginning of the NFL season. Hey, remember that Super Bowl that was over in 5 minutes? Want to see if the scandal-ridden Patriots can make it a game in the first quarter? Tune in. I don't think it's going to be us. I hate to say it. I think I'm crossing us off. I hate to say it's probably be the Chargers, the Bears, or the Chiefs, but even the Chiefs, I don't.
So I think that the NFL,
for the Chiefs.
I don't think the NFL puts its finger on the scale on competitive balance. They try not to. I do think the whole point, they do put their finger on the scale. Some put their finger on their scale. It's their business of best ratings possible.
Right.
And the only way Seahawks Chiefs, whichever week of the year it is played in, is not the game of the week, is if Patrick Mahomes is not playing in it. And the week that I would say, even though I believe Patrick Mahomes is going to be dancing at Travis Kelce's wedding and starting in Week 1, the week that he is most questionable is Week 1 of the season.
Yep.
So I think that they wouldn't burn that matchup, where you might not see Patrick. So I think he is, I think that's why if Patrick had not torn his ACL, I think this would be the Week 1 matchup.
Yep.
Well, it really comes down to circumstances, because let's face it, the Kansas City Chiefs weren't much of a factor last year. That's just the truth of the matter. But I do get it, because with New England, there's a whole lot going on over there. I think this has less to do with the Super Bowl itself and more to do with everything surrounding it. Are you really going to make this the very first genuine game of the season? Probably not. Definitely not Arizona. That would be completely nonsensical. And if Patrick Mahomes were fully healthy and ready to go, sure, I could see that as an option too. But to me, the most realistic choices are Chicago and the Chargers. And I don't think the Chargers fit either. Different division, different conference, it's just not a big marquee matchup. So it's got to be the Chicago Bears. It has to be Chicago, because it's also potentially a preview. And the league loves saying that. They absolutely love calling something a preview of a potential playoff matchup. These two teams could meet again in the postseason. Oh, could this be the NFC Championship game? You know the drill. This game could have serious implications down the road: home field advantage, tiebreakers. The stakes actually matter in a way they wouldn't against Kansas City or New England. It just doesn't fully add up. And how many of these season-opening games over the years have featured teams from different conferences? I actually looked into this recently. In 2024, it was the Ravens and the Chiefs, a rematch of the AFC Championship game. That makes sense: big game, big quarterbacks, and so on. Then you had the Eagles and the Packers, again, two NFC teams, competitive squads, etc. The following year it was the Eagles and the Cowboys. That makes sense: Eagles and Cowboys. And the other game that year was the Chargers and the Chiefs, right? That also makes sense. If it were the Eagles and the Chargers, the Eagles just won the Super Bowl, okay, and now they're playing the Chargers. I'm excited for that game, don't get me wrong. But it's not the main event you lead with. What's the conversation going to be? This could be a Super Bowl matchup? I guess, but that doesn't quite work for me. It just doesn't really add up. And that's why this year, you might think, oh, maybe the Rams for a rematch? But no, they're going to let that one simmer for a bit. Because that's already a huge game that's going to draw a massive audience regardless. They don't need that in week 1 as the standalone, first game of the season on Thursday Night Football. They don't necessarily need that kind of synergy. So my prediction is Chicago. And that's also who I'd want to see. Not New England, not Arizona, even if Mahomes were at 100% health. Not Mahomes and the Chiefs either, because again, those are interesting matchups and I'd be excited to watch them. It's just that something feels different about Chicago. Chicago feels like, okay, this is a real game. This matters. There are standee NGS at stake, right? It genuinely matters, tiebreaker situations, all of it. It truly, truly matters. And it's week 1, right from the jump. That's what I want to see more than anything. So I'm answering this question in 2 ways, not only who I want to see, but also who I expect to see. There's too much risk with Mahomes and his injury. Is he playing? Isn't he? There could be a setback at any moment. And the league has to lock in the schedule. They don't want to be stuck with the Seahawks playing, what would it be, Justin Fields? Again, I'd be really excited for that game, but for completely different reasons. Completely different reasons. Nobody cares about Arizona and Jacob, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to see Jeremiah Love. And New England? I don't know, man. It's a tough sell right now. The Chargers just aren't that popular. I love the Chargers, I love talking about them, watching them, discussing them. I make as many Chargers videos as I possibly can, but they don't move the needle. Chicago has a massive fan base and is potentially setting up to be a rival with the Seattle Seahawks, especially as the team that could stand in their way of trying to go back-to-back. That makes the most sense. Also, Chicago has a ton of momentum from their own popularity, their own fan base, their own upward trajectory. A ton of people believe this is the year they can become contenders, and so on. So then, okay, you're going to play the reigning Super Bowl champions. It's synergy on top of synergy, a massive game, a massive fan base, because that's another factor. The Seahawks, relatively speaking, again, I love talking about them, love making videos about them. I told you the Seahawks would be great last year, and they were. But they don't have the fan base that the Chicago Bears have. So the Seahawks winning a Super Bowl and now having a standalone Thursday night game to kick off the season, they're probably going to want to anchor that to a massive fan base like Chicago's. At this point, I would be shocked if it's not the Chicago Bears. I'd genuinely be like, whoa. The Cardinals? That makes no sense. Kansas City is a massive risk, I don't care if they talk directly to Patrick Mahomes or his doctors. That's a real risk right now. Although it would be pretty great to see Mahomes against that elite Seattle Seahawks defense in week 1. I don't know if they'd even do that to Mahomes, because they'd be nervous about him getting injured again. But you know, I don't know. New England? We know they've got problems. Los Angeles just isn't popular enough. And then you're left questioning the level of popularity of 2 teams in a standalone Thursday night game to start the season. It's got to be Chicago. Has to be Chicago. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about the Seattle Seahawks having that Thursday night game in Eastern Standard Time? Who do you think they're going to play, Arizona, Kansas City, the Los Angeles Chargers, Chicago, or New England? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree, either way, let's get some discussions going. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something we all feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.